Hey there, welcome back to my Mindful Meanderings. I'm Chrissy and we've made it to part 5 of our 6-part series on AI and how it's changing pretty much everything about how we work and live. If you've been following along, we started this journey looking at how AI is already part of our daily lives, often in ways we don't even notice. In part 2, we dug into the key human skills that AI can't replace. Part 3 got really interesting when we challenged what everybody thinks are AI-proof careers. Turns out, not much. And in part 4, we shared my personal experience with AI using ChatGPT and other tools, showing you how they're actually changing the way I work. Today, we're taking everything we've learned so far and putting it to work. We're going to look at some really smart ways people are using AI to boost their careers instead of being replaced by it. I'm talking about real examples from different industries, from creative fields to office work, where people have figured out how to make AI their sidekick instead of their replacement. Matt and I will walk through some specific strategies that are working right now, and maybe more importantly, we'll talk about the mindset shift that needs to happen if you want to stay ahead of the game. Whether you're loving AI, scared of it, or something in between, this episode is going to give you some practical ideas you can actually use. And don't worry if you've missed any earlier episodes, while they're all connected, you'll still get plenty of value from today's conversation. So grab your coffee or tea, find a comfy spot, and let's talk about making AI work for you, not the other way around. Let's get into it. There is technology out there now which is absolutely incredible. I recently watched Matt Wolfe provide information about how to create his own advert. And basically what he did was he said to ChatGPT, I want to create XYZ. This is the basic concept that I have. Please create a script for my advert or my short video.
One of those 11:30 at night, lying in bed, watching Matt Wolfe go over the latest AI updates that he's come across. And the other morning I was watching another video he did, and he runs Future Tools.
If you want to know what's coming up in AI, Matt Wolfe is the gun.
Yeah.
He is really great.
It's like 70 new tools a day, he was saying, that are getting released.
What?
I'm like, how do you keep up with that?
That is absolutely bonkers.
And is there anything really unique in that? Because there's some things that are bolting on and just like using what are effectively free resources but charging you for it. So it pays to be informed.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that's
wow.
True. Then from that topic that he managed to flesh out and create this really cool resource from, he then went into MidJourney and decided to create these prompts off the back of this ChatGPT script and created all these images to go along with it. So this is a faceless video, effectively. He took the images out of MidJourney, stuck them in Runway, and he created movement, and then spliced all of the images together and created this 10-minute video. And it is, look, it's not perfect. AI is still requires work, but this was phenomenal.
A 10-minute video or a 10-minute podcast is considered long form these days.
Oh my gosh.
Which that says something about attention spans, generally speaking. Certain people are slower to embrace change than others. And I've noticed the team that I'm working with are in that category of slower to embrace change. What I would like to draw a line under with that is that they have an awareness of some of the resources that are available now, even free versions under 3.5 with GPT, but they choose not to use them because they don't feel that they're actually effective.
Well,
now they choose that they're choosing not to use it because they don't feel that they're getting the results that they could create themselves quicker and more effectively. And that largely comes down to their proficiency with the use of those resources. So if you're new to it, look up a couple of different training videos or tips and tutorials on how to use these things, because if you pour a little bit of time into learning how to use a particular tool or resource, you're going to get better at using it. And that's going to give you an edge over someone who chooses not to invest those 10, 15, 30 minutes into learning how to use the resource that they have.
If you're going to provide the resource or the technology that you're choosing to engage with a stupid prompt, you're going to get a stupid response.
Agreed, yes. As you said, garbage in, garbage out. And that is an objective statement, not a subjective statement. So you can always get better at your inputs, and the outputs that you'll get will improve, but you will need to invest some time into learning how to communicate effectively with something that does not detect at this stage nuance, and it can't interpret subtext.
And that's where we'll leave it for today. We've covered a lot of ground, from seeing how people are turning AI into their personal assistants to watching how entire teams are reimagining their workflows with these tools. Who would have thought just a year ago we'd be having this conversation? You know what really hit home for me throughout these episodes? It's not just about using AI, it's about using it smartly. Like we saw in those examples, the people who are really winning at this are the ones who figured out how to let AI handle the time-consuming stuff while they focus on what humans do best. But here's the thing, and this leads us perfectly into our final episode. All of this change brings up some pretty big questions about where we're headed. In part 6, we're going to tackle the elephant in the room. What does all this mean for the future of work? Not just next year, but in 5, 10 years down the track. Matt and I will share our thoughts on what skills might really matter in the future, how to stay adaptable when everything keeps changing so fast, and most importantly, how to keep your career moving forward in a world where AI is becoming more capable every day. We'll also look at some predictions from people way smarter than us about where all this is heading. Some of it is pretty wild, but after everything we've covered in this series, I think you'll be better prepared to separate the realistic stuff from the science fiction. Until then, keep experimenting with those AI tools we talked about today. And remember, it's not about replacing yourself, it's about upgrading how you work. I'm Chrissy, and I'll catch you next time for our final episode of My Mindful Meanderings, where we'll peek into what the future might hold for all of us. Take care, and I'll see you in part 6.